April Pettyjohn, and this is Follow the Leader Homeschool Education. Hey everybody, welcome back to Follow the Leader Homeschool Education. I am April and I'm so excited that you guys are back with us for season 2. This is episode 3 and this is my awesome friend Maxie. Maxie and I have honestly not been friends for that long, but she is that friend that it feels like either we're secret sisters or we have been friends like since childhood. So I don't know, every once in a while you run across that person that you just instantly click with, and she's my girl. I'm so thankful that God brought you into my life. So it's going to be really fun. I'm glad to have you here. So Maxie's got her awesome coffee mugs. So we're going to talk about those first, and then we're going to talk about her mission for homeschooling. And then we're going to take a deep dive into all of our feelings on anxiety and depression, because that is something that we share, and that's a journey that we have walked through together similarly. So we're going to talk about all of our thoughts on homeschooling, being a homeschooling mom, and doing that while wrestling with anxiety, ADHD, depression. So I know it's going to be encouraging for you. So let's start off by talking about your mugs. I'm so excited.
I brought 2. I couldn't pick. Okay, I'll start with this one. This is a black dog mug.
Okay.
And it is from Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, yeah.
My mother-in-law's father. So Tom, my husband's grandpa, grew up on the island. And so his family goes back every 2 years and has a vacation, and we get mugs. They come in different colors every year, so it's kind of like a collection.
I've never been there. I've never been to that part of the country. It's so pretty.
It's beautiful.
What's the best time of year to go? Like this time of year? Is it really awesome?
We usually go in like July.
Okay.
And I say we usually, I've only gotten to go twice, but it was amazing both times. So, but yeah, I actually had a whole collection of these, and we moved once and I lost them, and it was so sad. I don't keep very many things. Like, not very many things are sentimental to me. And so my mother-in-law surprised me and regathered a collection and gave them to me, and it was so special.
Yes.
So yes, I have a few colors of those. And then this, my husband Tom buys me these every so often just from Target, but they have words on them. This one says, "Let the adventure begin." And he's rebought this one for me, I think 3 times, because anything that's not plastic in our home has a lifespan of like 2 months.
Yes, I understand that.
Chaotic children.
I have one that's similar. It's a similar style. I think it says Up and Atom. I love it so much. It's just like the perfect little size. Yes. And yeah, it's so good. But I am not like an avid coffee drinker. And so when I started this at the beginning, like of the episodes, I was like, what would be something that like resonates with people? And it's been so funny because people love this part of the podcast so much. And when I ask people, I'm like, do you have like maybe a mug that's special to you? They're like, oh, I have a whole cabinet. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's great.
But as I get like my Christmas stuff out, now that is where we do have like a whole cabinet of Christmas mugs, like for hot cocoa and stuff. So that'll be fun to pull out the Christmas dishes.
Yeah, I love it.
So, okay. So I want to talk about homeschooling and like your philosophy and your journey with that. But do you guys have like a mission statement or a verse that kind of has been guiding that for you?
So it kind of seems not very spiritual, but we have just like a motto, and it's every kid, every year. And so every single year we treat it as a new decision for each child, just our schooling in general. So whether that means public school, private school, homeschool, we've gone through several different even types of homeschooling. And that's kind of our philosophy, because we want to make sure that we are offering the best option for our kids' education as they grow and as they're into different things, or as we discover their learning styles and stuff like that.
I love that. And it can change so much from year to year, and even depending on your location. If you're moving, and kids really do, like, they change so much from year to year. Like, I'm always amazed within a year how much they can change and how much their needs can change. So I love that you guys are intentional about that. And you're really pressing in to what they need from you. So, okay. So take us on a little bit of a journey then. Maybe you can tell us about how many kids you have, like their ages, and then what that looked like when you and Tom started talking about homeschooling.
Okay. Yep. We have 4 kids. So Walker is almost 10. West is 8, Wells is 6, almost 7, and Woods is 3.
Okay, before we get into too much of it, I'm always curious when families have kids and they all have the same first initial. Okay, Why did you guys decide?
So it's so funny because I actually was vehemently against that.
Okay.
You know, like my whole life, I'm like, I will never be one of those families. You know, like, wow, ridiculous. And then, Walker is a family name. So my dad's last name is Walker, and we had 5 girls in my family, and so he was the first grandchild, and I wanted something to carry on his name, and so his name's Walker. And then West is another family name. My mother-in-law's father passed away very young, and we, again, just wanted something to kind of carry on that name and just, like, honor him. And so West comes from the family also. Yes. And then when we had Wells, we're like, we can't just
once you had 2.
Yeah, like, we have to do another W. Her name is, because we had just gotten planted in James River Church, and her name means near the river, and we just felt that was so... prophetic in the season that we were in.
I love that.
And then Woods, also prophetic, which we didn't know, but her name is Woods Anina Grace. So Anina is, it means light. And so her name means light and grace in the wilderness. And we went through a very wilderness season after she was born, and she has been such a light, such a gift, and it was so prophetic. So that's her name. She
really is. Yeah. She is such a bright light in any room that she's in. She just kind of takes over the space. Oh, I love that. That is great. My sister and I are both A names, but there's only 2 of us, so it's not like, that big of a deal. Yeah. But I do specifically remember growing up with a family in our church, and all of their kids were CH. So it wasn't just like the one initial, it was the full blend. So,
that many.
They were committed. Charity, Champ, Chuck, and Chase. It stuck with me though. So
that's good.
Okay, off track. Sorry, we do that really well.
That's great.
And that's some of what we're going to talk about is how our brains operate.
That's actually so relevant.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so talk about your schooling journey with your kids.
Yeah, so I was homeschooled until 6th grade, and I loved the experience. And when I did go to school, it was to a very small private. It was like a glorified co-op, basically. It was tiny. Like, there was 5 in my graduating class, and my twin sister was one of them. Not a lot of kids, but I loved it. I loved the experience, and I always thought I would homeschool. And then we started homeschooling with Walker when he was in pre-K. I'm like, I can do this. Yeah. I'm going to get all my, like, worksheets and my little posters. And that is not how he learns. Yeah. And so we've tried a few different things with him. Honestly, he went to a public preschool. And then for kindergarten, I would say we pseudo homeschooled. We had, we tried our best, but it was again, I thought I could redo it and try again. And it was just, we didn't click like I thought it would.
I've talked about that with several guests. And I think that for a lot of moms, when they're first starting out, that is the initial, they want to replicate the classroom in their home.
Yes.
Which, it makes sense. That's all they've known. That's all they've seen for a lot of us. And it's so darn cute. And you go to Mardell, and there's all the alphabet charts, and you buy the little desks, and it sounds so great. But for the majority of kids, that's just not really how they're going to learn best. And I held on to that for a long time. This room, you can look around this room and see like glue spots because I had all of the things hot glued up onto the wall because I was just, by golly, we're going to sit at our little desks with our alphabet charts. That's how we're going to do it. And
it just doesn't work. It wasn't working because it's their home, and they're like, "This is not where we sit in desks."
Exactly.
So yeah, that was our experience too. Yeah. So 1st grade, I went back to work, and our kids were in a Montessori school for a year, and that was amazing. Would have loved to stick with that actually long term, but we moved, and there wasn't a good option here for us, and so that's really where our homeschooling, really, I would say, started. Okay. Even though I dipped my toes in it. It wasn't successful. Yeah. So.
And what ages were your kids when you moved here?
So that would be last school year. So we had 3rd grade, 1st grade, kindergarten, and then Woods was baby. But
that's a lot.
Yep, it was wild.
And so so last year you were homeschooling, but were you connected in a co-op? Were you doing it on your own? What were you doing?
We had a co-op, and it was really awesome, but it was very separate from what we were doing at home. So not integrated at all. So we would just go for like more of the socialization, and then at home we tried 5 different curriculums before we landed on like what is working for us now, and it was kind of, I would call it like a experiment year. We were consistent as much as we could be. But yeah, it was definitely like trial and error all
and
year.
I want to say there is nothing wrong with
Oh,
that.
yeah, it was actually awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the beauties of choosing to homeschool
Yeah.
is that you get to figure out.
For
So
sure.
if you're that mom and you're in the place where you're saying, we've tried 5 different things and we haven't found our thing, try something else.
Yep.
Like that's not a moment of discouragement.
Oh, right.
Let that like push you towards trying the next thing. But like you said, stay consistent in something. Don't just be like, well, it's not working.
Right.
So I'm just not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Because that won't serve you or your kids well. But just because you haven't found that thing yet
Right.
doesn't mean it's not out there. And I just think so many times moms get to a point where they're like, I've tried everything. Like I've tried all the things. Well, try something else. And I know that it's challenging because like we said at the beginning, they all learn differently. So just because a Becca works really well for this kid, well, it might not work well for
Right.
this kid. They may need more of a Charlotte Mason approach. So that's a hard balancing act as
I
a
think
mom.
that is really important though to know, like if you're just coming into homeschooling, that you may be doing, if you have 4 kids, you may be doing 4 different
Right.
things. And if we have time, I mean, I can talk about how I balance that for my family.
Absolutely. Please.
But yeah, I think it's important to just know that like one size doesn't fit all. And I think that's true in any situation, but it's just that homeschool, you actually have the ability to cater to that, you know, versus if they're in a really large group of kids, they may have to adapt.
Yeah.
Homeschool gives us the privilege to cater a learning experience for each
Absolutely.
child.
Yeah,
So.
that's so good. So you and I really connected more at church. We are both working in our preschool departments and we haven't really talked about this, so I'm going to kind of put you on the spot. But I selfishly wanted you to join our classical conversations group just because I was like, I know that you will be a great fit within our community. And I think that it will serve your family well. I think your kids will get really connected. And so it was kind of selfish on my part just because I wanted you guys there so badly. But what was it that kind of pushed you to go ahead and decide and to say yes to joining?
Oh, it was
that
absolutely you. It was absolutely you. I was so overwhelmed.
Oh.
We had a really, really hard 2 years, and I was too afraid of like committing to something else and failing. It was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And I was so tempted to try it because I had heard of so many success stories with this program, and just like I feel like every family that I talk to, that I feel like, oh, those people really have it together with their homeschooling. I'm like, what do you do? And it's always Cece. And, you know, I just feel like it has a good reputation.
It does.
But yeah, I was just too nervous to like bite off more than I could chew. And I had just made up my mind. I'm like, I'm just not going to do it. And then you texted and you're like, hey, are you a hard no? I'm like, I was, but say more. What do you know? And I'm so thankful. Like, I'm so thankful that you pushed back, because I feel like most people would just be like, okay, she doesn't want to, but you were like bold and you pushed back and you're like, tell me if I'm overstepping. And, but I want you to be there. And I think it would be beneficial. And that's really what made me give it a second look. It honestly was. So yeah,
well,
thank you.
I'm so glad that you're there. And I mean, really I think it's just an encouragement to, if you need to get a little pushy with your friends sometimes, you know, in a kind way, but really like if God's put something on your heart, and really he had put you on my heart so many times that I just like could not ignore it. And in a way where I was like, listen, this is going to have to be your decision, because this is a huge decision and not something that I can make for you. But if it's in your mind at all, like let me be an encouragement to you in this way. So if you've got a friend on your heart, maybe it's somebody who is in public school, but you know, they've come to you and said, this is not a fit for our family. This doesn't feel right. We're really considering homeschooling, but we just don't know how to get out. Push back a little bit, show them that there's other options, help them talk through what that would look like and brainstorm with them what they could do, because you can be that light to them and that encouragement to them. And sometimes they just need somebody saying, you can do this, and this is what it can look like. So yeah, that's great. So this year, being in CC, can you kind of just tell us what your days kind of look like at home a little bit? Because your kids have different personality types, but you've got 4 kids under the age of 10. Yeah. So maybe talk to us a little bit about what that looks like. We send each other videos back and forth sometimes of how crazy our days
it's always wild.
can get. Yeah.
We we try to stick to a rhythm versus like a schedule. I have tried before, like from 8 to 8:30, we're doing this. Yeah. From 9 to 10, we're doing this, and it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
And for me, if I get thrown off of something like a path that I was on, it really, really derails me. So I have stuck to what I would call a rhythm now. And so it's like more first, second, third versus a time frame for anything. And it helps me come back to what I had wanted to do for the day if we get off track. So we do.
I love that word. I like that word, rhythm or routine.
Yeah.
You know, more than schedule. And it just, there's so much more freedom in that. And even with like Reed, now that he's getting older, because he's 11 now, even for him, like I will just have goals for the day. And I don't really care what order he does them in. It's like, these are your goals. You can decide when you do them, but they have to get done.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys don't know, but poor Zoe is having to make all the edits because like every other sentence, me and Maxie are like, no, wait, what?
What are we talking about?
What were we saying? And honestly, a lot of our voice memos, like back and forth to ourselves, like, no, to each other. We'll go like, I'm saying something and then I'm like, oh, what's that guy doing over there? And then it's very, disjointed.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of ADHD happening.
A little bit.
So it's very relevant. And that's what we're going to talk about next time. We're going to talk about all the brain things and all the emotion things. And this episode has flown by, but it's been super, super good. I could talk to you forever. So next time we're going to come back, we're going to dive deep into being a mom and working through ADHD, anxiety, depression. I know it's going to be relevant for probably like everybody.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be good. You do not want to miss it. You're going to want to share it with a friend. And we'll see you then. Until next time, happy learning.